Hey everyone, it's Christian, your local realtor, and for today's video I want to talk to you about evicting your tenants. Now, smart, savvy sellers know it's much better to sell your unit, your rental unit, when it's empty, when it's vacant, and it's better because you get more money that way. Imagine if you have a tenant and your tenant is messy, they're uncooperative, they are blocking showings. Well, that's going to cut into your bottom line. It's going to cut tens of thousands of dollars off your sale price. And I'm speaking from experience when I tell you this. So the smart, savvy thing to do is to negotiate an agreement to end the tenancy. But you got to do this the right way, okay? And you want to do this the right way because you want to stay out of trouble. So I'm going to make some suggestions for you. These are the same suggestions I would make to my own clients when I'm talking with them. So the first thing you want to know is how not to end a tenancy. One of the things is you cannot just kick your tenant out. It doesn't work that way. So if they have a fixed term tenancy from, let's say, Canada Day to Canada Day the following year, you can't get them out between that time. The law doesn't allow for that. And after the 1 year expires, their tenancy rolls into a month to month. And you still can't kick them out for no reason, and you certainly can't because you want to sell it. Right? So that's important to know. A lot of people are under the misunderstanding that after 1 year, their tenant has to leave. That's not correct. The province changed the law around that. Fixed term tenancies roll into month-to-month tenancies. That's the first thing you need to know. Second, I've had investors tell me, well, I'll just move into the unit and say I'm going to live there, and then the tenant will leave. Bad idea. Very bad. The reason for this is, the penalty, if the tenant found out that you never moved in and made a claim to the residential tenancy tribunal, they can claim 1 year's worth of rent. Imagine you were collecting $3,000 a month in rent. That's a $36,000 penalty to you. So you don't want to go there, and it just doesn't make sense. And so now a couple of other things. Just if you're wondering, well, what's the chances that the tenant would find out whether or not I moved in? Oh, it's very high. Let me paint a picture here for you. I once was working out at the YMCA, and a gentleman approached me who knew I was a realtor, and he asked me, well, Christian, I just moved out of my rental, and I'm trying to find the owner. I can do a title search at Land Title's office in New Westminster, can't I? And I said, well, yeah, actually, it's pretty simple. You would just go there, and I think it's about $25, and you can do a title search, and you can find the owner's full name and their address. In that instance, he believed the owner was living in the United States in Los Angeles. And he had found out that the owner did not move in and had actually kicked him out unfairly. And he wanted to serve notice to that owner and collect 12 months worth of rent. So tenants are not stupid. They know if you're doing this. So you want to avoid that altogether. Now, if you are going to move into the unit for this purpose, you must occupy the unit for 6 months, okay? And then you're free and clear. But if you're watching this video in the future, please check the government websites because that can change at any time. But as of today, it's 6 months that you have to live and reside in the unit, okay? Now, there's an easier way though, and the easier way is what I suggest to my clients, which is very simple, and it's called a mutual agreement to end tenancy. And there's a form for it on the government website. Hopefully we've got an example here for you right on the screen. And all you would do is you would call the tenant and you would connect with them, and this is where your superior negotiation and communication skills come in handy. And what you would say to them in essence is, look, I've decided I'm going to be selling my unit for personal reasons, and often it is a very legitimate reason. I've had people have to sell because they were facing bankruptcy. That's a very legitimate reason. and you would say, I just wanted to be considerate to you and just give you advance notice that I'm going to be selling my unit. And so to give you the time to find something possibly better, I wanted to let you know in advance. And really, that's what you would say to your tenant. And you'd offer them a free month of rent because, well, they would get a free month anyway if you were selling the unit through the public market and the buyers moving in. So why not just offer it to them up front in the first place? And who knows, maybe you'd throw in a couple $100 on top of that, pay for their moving expenses, whatever, right? And so that way you would get them to sign the mutual agreement to end tenancy. Note, however, they are not required to sign that. They don't need to sign that. So that's why you'll have to make it into a negotiation where they win and you win as well. My experience, though, is that most tenants are fairly practical and understanding, especially if you've had a good relationship over that period of time, and they will work with you on this and will generally appreciate the fact that you're letting them know in advance. I do think there are some tenants that could be difficult, and if they have a below market rent, they may not want to move, which is understandable as well. So, you'll have to work with the situation. In the final analysis, though, most tenants will see the writing on the wall that you're going to be moving in a couple of months and intend to live there for the foreseeable future, and they will then at that point start to look for a new place. But I want to be clear that you've got to end the tenancy the right way, and for the very reasons that it's the right thing to do. And the second thing is that it's you don't incur any penalties in the future. So if you've had personal experiences with this, go ahead, leave those in the comments below, or if you have other questions. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.